India's COVID-19 lockdown is having an unexpected positive impact. Pollution levels have been falling. The clearer skies have lifted the veil on a rare sight, the Pir Panjal mountain range. It's now clearly visible from Srinagar in Indian Kashmir. Located nearly 200 kilometers away, it often can't be seen because of dust in the air left by heavy traffic and smoke from factories. The drop in pollution levels due to lockdowns has been seen across the world, from Beijing to Italy. But scientists stress that the phenomenon is temporary and could end up worse than before the pandemic. Lori Milivarta is from the Helsinki-based Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air. He joins us now. So, Lori, give us a sense of how significant the changes in air quality and pollution have been in the last couple of months.
This is completely unprecedented as a change that has taken place almost overnight in different countries. You're seeing levels of toxic air pollution fall by anywhere from 25 to 50% in different places, and that does reduce the health risks, the health impacts from air pollution, which are significant and can even provide some relief for COVID-19 patients who are suffering from a respiratory illness.
And how can changes in air pollution levels then have an effect on the intensity of a pandemic? Can you give us some examples, perhaps, of comparisons with previous events?
The most important impact is that if you think about the kinds of pre-existing conditions that put people at a heightened risk if they contract COVID-19, diabetes, lung cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and so on. For those diseases, air pollution is a leading risk factor. So that means that going into this pandemic, we already had millions of people around the world who were suffering these conditions because of air pollution, and that has contributed to this disease. For previous epidemics, viral epidemics, we know that exposure to air pollution also weakens the body's defenses against diseases. So there is also the possibility that for COVID-19 exposure during this epidemic makes people more vulnerable.
Lori, will this temporary lowering of carbon dioxide emissions, CO2, help in mitigating or perhaps maybe even pausing climate change to any extent?
That really depends on what governments do in response. The Indian government has taken measures to, for example, speed up and protect renewable energy projects. From this, other governments have pledged to support green industries, to support clean transport as a part of their recovery plans. And if that becomes the norm globally, then we can, then this crisis can help us moving towards cleaner air and cleaner energy. In contrast, there are countries that have been bailing out fossil fuel industries, that have been permitting new polluting projects as a way to support the economy. So it really depends on what policymakers do.
Well, speaking about that then, when the pandemic finally abates and economic activities sort of go back to some form of normalcy, some industries may seek to sort of make up for lost time, if you like. Could we see sort of it double down, in effect, by industries to get back to what they've lost and make things even worse?
We are unfortunately already starting to see that in China, where pollution levels have returned to pre-crisis levels and even above pre-crisis levels. The big question is this the kind of recovery that policymakers will support? They have the choice between supporting green industries, between supporting household consumption, supporting the people who have been most hit by this, supporting the service sector, or supporting a polluting industry-driven rebound.
Okay, Mayor, thanks for speaking to us this evening. Lori Milivarta from Helsinki-based Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air.